I've I really felt the need to get all that off my chest. I just think it was just something that was just coming out of me that I just needed to vent and share. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pull 3 sets of cards for this week. The week beginning the 27th through to the 3rd. Okay. All right. And the card is Adventure. Wonderful new experiences fill my life. So this is a really good card because it shows that you might be thinking about travel. You might be thinking about just doing something completely different, something that helps you to kind of grow and expand yourself. And especially with the sun being in the distance. So some guys, you might be traveling to a place that is really sunny and bright, or all this like field and stuff makes you think of something that's a place that's a bit like the countryside or something like that. So I feel like you're saying that this is a week to really think about how you can have fun. How and adventures don't mean that you really even have to travel abroad or something like that. Like you could have an adventure like right in your own back garden if you really get creative about it. So this could be somewhere that's even local to some of you guys. Maybe I definitely feel it's a place that you've never been before, a place that you can explore and just can be serene in. So that's the first card. Let me pick some others and sort of get a better, clearer message. It says essence. In my essence, I am joy. And I think that looking at these cards together, I feel like he's saying that some kind of new pursuit can bring you joy. I think that there's some of you guys, you need to introduce something different into your life. Maybe things are becoming so the same, like everything is just every day, it's a routine. And so I feel like this week is saying you have to kind of break the routine. You have to do something maybe out of character for yourself, you know and again, I don't encourage being irresponsible and all that kind of stuff. I encourage just thinking things through and doing things in the appropriate way. But then I think that what this energy is kind of telling me is that you need to introduce a new sense of living life, and I think whenever we do something that is different, it helps us to kind of see things in a way that kind of allows us to go beyond what we're just used to, and we can experience something different all the time. And that one thing will open you up. It makes you grow. It makes you expand. It makes you have, another way of thinking, another perspective. There is nothing wrong that can come out of just doing things slightly differently, Maybe if you're used to, having, your lunch at a certain time, you're used to going to this place at a certain time, that place doing this at a certain time. It could be saying that maybe you just have to switch things up a bit. And I think that can just introduce more, happiness into your life. But whatever it is, it's saying that what is important right now is your own sense of joy. Being that this card is also talking about essence, I feel like it's also saying that when you are your authentic self, that's when you're in your essence and that's when you're happiest. So this isn't a week about, and I don't think that this message just applies for this week, but I think in general, it's saying that we're not happy when we're pretending to be someone else, or when we're smiling in people's faces when we don't really feel like smiling. Like we have to kind of come back to who we essentially are, and we have to also accept ourselves for who we are, and also put that out there into the world and allow other people to accept that as well. And I think when we're at that place, that's when we can feel more happier in our lives, because we feel like, okay, you know I don't feel like I have to put on a mask. I don't feel like I have to pretend. It's just about you being you. And that might be where the adventure comes in. Like maybe the adventure is actually, you know, exploring another side of yourself that you just never thought was there, but it always was there. It always was you. But maybe that side of yourself was never really put out into the world for other people to see. So it could be that as well. The last card is miracles. My life is a miracle, and I love when this card shows up. And so what this card is telling me is that miracles are basically happening around you. And miracles don't have to be big, grand, you know, just groundbreaking stuff. Like a miracle can be the most littlest, simplest thing. but every day is a miracle. And like you can see with this tree and the nest and eggs, it's like, isn't life a miracle? I mean, when you think about the process of giving birth, or the process of being pregnant and all that kind of stuff, like, isn't that miraculous that, we all of us went through that process? We're here today. It's like, I think sometimes we can pass up on things, or not see the beauty in things, because of the fact that we just think it's so ordinary. That happens all the time. And it's true, miracles happen all the time. They do. Things that can't be explained happen all the time. But it's just a case of, sometimes we either don't see it as being all that special, or it's a case of, sometimes, again, we just don't think it's so grand to pay that much attention. But it's saying that there are some miracles taking place in your life. So I feel like for some of you guys, I feel for some of you, you're gonna see something happening in your life that is really gonna be showing you that there is a new wave coming in, like where things are happening with more ease. Another thing I would say is, the more you are in line, again, with your higher purpose, with yourself, and more in tune you are with yourself, the more you're able to identify and know what it is that you're wanting and expecting out of life. Not to say that everything is going to go the way you want it to. We know that that's always the case. But I feel that the more you are able to believe in miracles, is the greater chance that you're going to start to see things in your life manifesting that is exactly what you want. Like, if you believe that something is possible, then that is what can open the door to something really incredible coming in. But sometimes that's just, we don't understand that, and we just want to think about, or we just want to entertain things that make sense in our mind. Like, how could I possibly, be somebody that maybe in life I was always kind of an underachiever, or I never really did well in school. How could I ever be able to get a degree, or how could I ever be able to do a master's? Or for instance, I've always been a person that has struggled all my life financially. How could I ever just come into a sum of money and stuff like that? Of course you can. There's people that do that all the time, that happens in people's lives. But sometimes we either think that that can't be us, or we kind of think we become so, in a sense, comfortable with where we are, even if we're not happy with where we are, even if we don't like it. We become so comfortable, like, this is my reality and this is the way things are going to be, that we ourselves don't even think that there is something that can happen, that can change everything. And then sometimes we're given even opportunities to change everything, and we still don't take it, because, in our minds, we don't feel that we're worthy of it. We don't feel that we deserve it. And that can be a subconscious thing. Like, sometimes that's not something, like, maybe if somebody asked you, do you think you're worthy of success? You probably say, yeah. But then something may happen, like maybe you actually finally do get an opportunity to be successful, and then you end up turning it down, or you don't end up really fulfilling, the requirements or something, because not because you couldn't, but just because you just didn't, because maybe you was insecure, you didn't believe in yourself enough, you didn't believe you could do it, something like that. And so it's kind of saying that you need to believe in yourself, but you also need to believe that you are deserving of miracles happening in your life. And then that's when you start to see more and more things are going to be taking place. So that's an important message. So let's see what is underneath the deck. Oh, we have awakening. That reminds me of last week's reading. And it says, I am joyously aware and awake and ready for anything. Isn't that like perfect? in comparison to like what I was just saying, it's talking about being aware and awake and ready for anything to come in. If you are ready and you're prepared and you're open and you say, universe, I am ready, even if it scares me, even if it doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, like, maybe this is like bringing me completely out of my comfort zone, but I would really love to do this and all this other stuff. Once if you feel a connection, like, oh my gosh, this is good, it's saying you have to go for it. If you feel like, I mean, I always believe, do something that is beneficial to you, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. you know that's an important thing as well. But it's like, once you know, like, intuitively, that you have worked for this, that you are deserving of this, even if you haven't worked for it, even if it's something that you win or that just comes to you in a random way. But again, everything is fine. It's on the up and up. There's nothing sinister connected to it. And it's for you. You're saying go for it. Like, be open to it. And I think, the more we understand that, we create our reality. Whether you want to believe that or not, it's positive to believe that, because of the fact that it puts you in the mindset of, life doesn't just happen to me, but I'm the one that can influence my life. So therefore, you're going to take the initiative to do more to create the life that you want, if you have that belief. And belief is everything. A belief doesn't even necessarily have to be true for it to work for you. you know? Because there's a lot of things people believe that aren't necessarily true. And I don't want to cause any drama, but there's a lot of religions people believe that aren't necessarily true. But again, I don't want to cause any problems. But that's what I'm saying. Like, have a belief system that supports you in creating the life that you want, and creating a happier life for yourself. Okay, so peace and many blessings to you. I'll be seeing you. Bye.